Now it has grown by more than 3,000 acres. Again, this started just about 5 hours ago at 50 acres. So the rate of spread is incredible, given that we're already up to beyond 8,000 acres. Also underway down below there, the Pitchess Detention Center. Let me just get this information up. This is for LA County, the Pitchess Detention Center in Castaic. That is what we're being told is under a partial evacuation with 400 inmates being relocated. So that is something that doesn't happen all the time. I'm seeing some sources say that it's been 4 decades since inmates have had to be evacuated in any way, shape, or form. I want to get that confirmed. But the Peter J. Pitchess Detention Center in Castaic, under partial evacuation, reportedly 400 inmates are relocating right now because of the Hughes Fire that has now grown to more than 8,000 acres.
According to the LA Times, it's a 5,000-person jail complex, so wondering how much of a concern they have there. Do they need to evacuate the whole location here? Obviously a big concern, as the sheriff then of LA County would be watching that one and deciding whether to evacuate. It is LA County's northernmost jail, but obviously fire knows no boundaries, whether you are a homeowner, a renter, or you are incarcerated in one of the jails here. A concern for everybody there as we watch this fire moving towards the 5 freeway, moving to the southwest towards the 5 freeway. It's called the Hughes Fire. As we continue to look at the map there, gives you a picture. If you know the area, you know it well. You know Lake Hughes Road, you know the 5 freeway. Many people just know that area as they pass through the 5 freeway going to Central or Northern California. Others know the area for perhaps Magic Mountain, a vacation spot.
Yeah.
But this is an area where a lot of people live. They like it. They're not quite in the city of Los Angeles. They love the beautiful mountain ranges there. They love the warmer temperatures. They love that view of California that is a little bit different from other parts. The mountains are gorgeous to drive through, especially on a beautiful sunny California day. But then you have the fire risk. Very hot there, very dry there, as it is all across Southern California. And you have the winds, of course, not the strong winds, Marla, that you saw with Palisades and the Altadena fire, but still we know what the damage winds can do here in Southern California.
Absolutely. You make a good point. These are weaker winds than we saw 2 weeks ago, but nonetheless, they can be really devastating, and they have pushed this fire to grow to more than 8,000 acres. If you think of it, Christine, the Eaton fire is just over, it's been at 14,000 plus acres, and we are more than halfway there in just a few hours. And that is because this is really just a traditional brush fire, wildfire that is raging out of control. There's not a lot of structures nearby. That is the saving grace, the silver lining, if you will. Let's hope that it stays that way. You mentioned the 5 being such an important route, and I'm looking on Google Maps. It essentially extends from Six Flags Mountain, and it's all lit up in red, of course. It goes by through Castaic. It goes through, let's see, some other points of interest that you may know about. Vaquero Beach at Pyramid Lake, it goes through there. The Pyramid Lake RV Resort, heading northbound, the Gorman Post Road, Lebec, and all of the 5 right now is completely shut down between the Grapevine and basically Magic Mountain. So that gives you a sense of how many miles that is, and there's a whole lot of stopped traffic as a result of this.
Yeah, well, a big concern as you wonder in these mountain communities, these hillside communities, how many evacuation routes you have. I'm thinking of a friend of mine who lives in one of these areas, and to get up to her place there, it's kind of one road in, make a right, make a right, make a right, and then you are there. Let's talk to residents right now in the area. Todd Kessler, thank you for joining us by phone. Tell me first off, Todd, where are you at?
I am actually standing on a ridge watching the fire as we speak. I'm in Valencia, up in the Tesoro area.
Are you under mandatory evacuation right now or warning?
Yeah, evacuation order came through about an hour ago, so we loaded up everything of importance and got my wife and mother-in-law and dogs out, and I'm kind of standing by, but I'll be getting out shortly.
So tell me what it is you're seeing from your vantage point, and what concerns you about what you've witnessed in these past couple of hours here.
Well, the winds are blowing westerly, thank God. If the wind does shift, then we're probably in danger. I'm sure our evacuation orders out of an abundance of caution, given everything that's happened in the Palisades and Eaton fires. But we're going to heed the warnings and orders and just be safe. But hopefully we'll have a house to come back to. I'm not too worried about ours. I'm more worried about people in Castaic watching the direction it's blowing towards Castaic and Piru area. That's the direction the embers are falling.
So what would it take for you to, because you mentioned you're under a mandatory evacuation order right now, you've done your due diligence and you've packed up the car, you got your loved ones with you. What will it take for you to actually leave your property?
Once I'm done with the call, I'm actually going to go back to work and hang out there and just wait until they say it's safe to go back into the area.
As I'm looking at the map, Todd, I can see that it appears that your neighborhood, if I have this right, is to the southeast of Castaic Lake RV Park, and the winds are blowing the fire to the west. So if things go as planned, the fire would move away from you. We talked to another resident from that Tesoro Valley area as well, who had rushed home to deal with her kids and pack up. I'm wondering, have you been on standby to pack up these past couple of weeks, given that we know you're an area that has a lot of wind, we know you're an area that's very dry, that fire, if it happened, could be very bad in that area?
I haven't been on standby, but my wife and I have talked about, being prepared and, with a friend that lost everything in the Palisades fire, it was definitely a wake-up call. And so, yeah, you have to be diligent and be ready to go and grab the essentials and kind of go from there.
So sorry to hear about your friend. I mean, we've seen story after story about that. Yeah. So we're so sorry. And, of course, we hope that your home is safe. Did any of the coverage that you've been watching change how you would deal with an emergency like we're seeing today?
Not really. I mean, you just have to be prepared and, leave it in the professionals' hands, let them do their job.
And the current conditions where you are, you said you're standing on a ridge right now. How windy is it? Give us a sense of what you're feeling.
It's not too terribly windy right here, but, the fire creates its own wind. I'd say there's gusts maybe 15 to 20 miles an hour. But I'm up in the new construction zone. I can see flames from where I'm at, and I'm watching some incredible fire drops of the Castaic, and it's kind of a cool show.
It is amazing to see them at work. Todd, are you from Southern California?
Yes, I grew up in Granada Hills and moved out to Santa Clarita in 1985. Been out there ever since. Okay, so you've seen a lot of our disasters here when it comes to what happens in Southern California. I'm wondering, just your take as somebody who's watched the fires that we just had in Altadena and Palisades, what you make of what we witnessed here in Southern California? It's, I don't want to get political. I'm going to keep my mouth quiet.
Okay. Well, we appreciate, your candor. We can, any final thoughts before we let you go?
Just thanks to all the hardworking firefighters. I have many friends that are firefighters, sheriffs, CHP, and they're all working 12-hour shifts overtime. They're exhausted, and they just, they're the true heroes. So can't thank them enough. Well, about you not sharing certain political thoughts, we understand lots of people are wanting answers and have questions as to the devastation we witnessed here in Southern California. But we'll let you leave it on that wonderful thought, thanking our firefighters, because they are truly the heroes in all of this. And to think that, Marla, they're working on yet another fire. We saw those inmate crews on yet another fire. So, Todd, thank you so much. Be safe. We hope your community stays safe. My pleasure. Thank you. And I have to give a shout out to Fillmore, apparently, because the fire's heading that way as well. Be careful out there. I think you know who I'm talking about. All right. Yeah, we know Fillmore would be to the west. I believe Fillmore is Ventura County. Is that right? Yes. Yeah, it's right on the eastern flank of Ventura County. Right. So we talked to officials from Ventura County who talked about being at the ready as that fire, as we talked about, moves towards the south and the west, towards the ocean if you keep on going. So thank you so much for that shout out. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it. All right. Thank you so much. All right. You stay safe. On the line now is Deputy Robert Jensen. He's with the LA County Sheriff's Department. No doubt you've been busy the last couple of weeks covering all of these fires. What do you want people to know about the current situation as it relates to the Hughes Fire?
Well, thank you very much for having me and giving an opportunity to get this important information out to our residents and our community. Santa Clarita is a very close-knit community. It's really awesome in times like this to see everybody come together. One of those things that comes together really well during times like this, unfortunately, Santa Clarita, we're no new guide to fires, so we're working together really well with our partner agencies. LA County Fire, Cal Fire, U.S. Forestry Service is up here as well with the Angeles National Forest, attacking this thing really from the front, and I'm grateful for that, grateful to see that. We have issued several evacuation orders and several evacuation warnings, and I just want to make it very clear, if you receive that LA County alert, they are accurate, okay? I know there was some concern in the past, but please be aware those alerts are accurate. So if you were issued an evacuation order, that is not a recommendation. Please get out now. We've opened up the 5 freeway with the assistance of California Highway Patrol. 5 northbound is completely closed at Highway 126, and 5 southbound is going to be completely closed from Grapevine all the way down. So you have a clear route to exit. What I need from you, though, is if you are in an area that borders an evacuation order zone, consider yourself under evacuation warning. What that means, if you're under a warning, is that if you are a special population or you know that it's just going to take a little bit longer for you to get some help to get out, please start packing. These evacuation orders are no joke. The wind was looking pretty bad at the start of this fire. It jumped, it moved very fast, but again, we attacked it from the front with fire, and it does look like the acreage is holding right now. We're at about 5,300 acres, and it's been that amount since about an hour ago, so that is encouraging. Well, we do have a temporary evacuation point set up at Hart High School for anybody that's been displaced, and then please make sure you're aware as well. This is over 31,000 people that we are evacuating. So our Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department deputies, whether you're from Santa Clarita Valley Station that know this area really well, or one of our sister stations that are here assisting us, if you get a lawful order to evacuate, that is not a recommendation. Please help us help you and get out of your residence as quickly as possible. Do so safely and do so, don't lollygag. Get out of there as soon as you can.
You just gave a lot of great information. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but CAL FIRE just updated the acreage. So now the Hughes Fire is more than 8,000 acres. So it's grown.
That is no surprise over here. We've been getting like minute-by-minute updates, so that is not a surprise. That is going to update some of those numbers as far as population and structures, so I won't have that information until I go check back in with the command post. But what that means, though, is that the fire is growing and it is moving, so please make sure that you are paying close attention to that Protect Genesis app. It will show you which zones have been under an order and which ones have been under a warning.
What is that app again, please?
It's Protect Genesis. Genesis is spelled a little funky. It's going to be GENASYS, Protect Genesis. It's also a website. A lot of people will use other apps like Watch Duty and that kind of thing. Just keep in mind, Cal OEM are the ones that directly update Protect Genesis, so you're going to want to check that one for the most accurate, most up-to-date information. Watch Duty is very helpful, though, as far as early warning signs and that kind of thing.
Great. Okay, so I want to just hit home a point that you made there, and I think that's very important. First of all, the emergency alert system, if those folks out there in Santa Clarita and Castaic area received it, that was not a false alarm. That is the real deal, because we dealt with that a couple of weeks ago during the Palisades and Eaton fires. So thank you for bringing that up. And then if you're thinking, well, I can't get out because the 5's closed, no, there's a clear route for evacuees.
Correct. Yeah, we have the 5 opened up for residents that are trying to evacuate. And another thing on that, too, I mean, please let the lessons that were learned through Palisades and Eaton, let those, just kind of take home with you. We need to evacuate. I know there was some concern about the Alert LA orders going out and not being accurate, but please understand, as of right now, that information is true. That information is correct. So if you receive that alert, it is time for you to go.
Let me ask you about the 31,000 people that you're evacuating. We've talked about the fires that we had earlier, and they were in hillside areas that often have few routes to evacuate. Is that a concern for you as well?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why we deployed deputies there immediately to start those evacuations. We do have a lot of little villages within Santa Clarita. There's going to be some of the, like, Tesoro, Decorah, West Hills, kind of the Mountain View, Black Pine areas over by Haskell Open Space that are going to be under evacuation warnings now. So please, again, just pay attention to those apps. The wind is shifting. We are monitoring it very closely. As of right now, anything that is neighboring an evacuation order, please consider that an evacuation warning, even if your zone has not been highlighted as a warning yet.
Well, I can tell you I was in a warning zone. One of the last fires is one of those where you're really nervous, you're really on edge. You pack some things, you don't pack enough things, and you kind of are tense the whole entire time. So thank you, Deputy, so much for the information you provided.
Yes, Deputy Robert Jensen with the LA County Sheriff's Department. Did you want to say any final thoughts?
I just am grateful again for our partners with the LA County Fire Department. They have some excellent resources on their website as far as what to do when you get notified of an evacuation. They even have if you get notified that the fire's 2 hours away, this is what you should pack. If you get notified with 20 seconds, this is what you should grab. So please take a look through their website. If you're not affected right now and you have the time, take the time to get prepared and get ready and know your zone so you're ready to go if and when those fires affect you.
And Deputy, you should know that our web team worked quickly to put up the Protect Genesis app information, I should say, on our Fox Local app, so that'll help our viewers as well. So thanks so much for that.
Excellent.
We know Watch Duty is a good resource, but so is Protect Genesis. Thank you so much, sir, for all you do.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate your help. Couldn't do it without you getting the information out, so thank you.
You got it. All right, we're going to talk to CAL FIRE now. Brent Pasqua joining us also by phone. CAL FIRE, you've had quite a morning here starting at 11 o'clock this morning with this fire breaking out. What's your thoughts right now, Chief?
Yeah, this is another fast-moving Santa Ana wind-driven fire. So good news is it's not like the first 2 days of the Palisades fire. I came straight from the Palisades fire this morning to this fire. We are able to fly our aircraft. We are making progress. So with that being said, it's still a very dangerous fire, and people need to heed warning if told to evacuate.